to Infinity Platter. We're standing today in front of Casa de la Kombucha, that is House of Kombucha, and we're going to meet Kendra, the co-founder. We're going to talk about kombucha, how to make it, how you can make it at home, and then try a bunch of different flavors. My go-to drink in the last few months has become kombucha, and I absolutely love it. So I actually want to learn how to make it, and I'm so looking forward to learning it. So let's get started. So we are here with Kendra, the co-founder of Casa de la Kombucha, who looks after everything in this business. And I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having us. And I'm really looking forward to you imparting your knowledge about kombucha and introducing us to the world of kombucha and them. And so let's get started.
Great, thank you so much, Ash. Thank you for coming to visit me. I love sharing about kombucha. It's my passion. It started with just a hobby. I actually started making in 1995, and now I've learned to love it, because of what it can do.
Yeah.
And it's coming from nature. What is kombucha?
Yes.
It is basically a fermented tea. So we ferment with the mother during 2 weeks. And then you can make your kombucha from that, or you can start adding in new flavors, fruits or different herbs or things like that. So let's have a look at the mother. This mother is very nice and
just
big.
pick it up?
Yeah, just grab it. Go in there and grab it. I'll help you if you need. And then people can see, well, this is partly why they call it a mushroom, because it's from the fungi family. So it's a yeast. For the yeasts. So this, it takes the shape of the container that it's in, and this one came from a fairly large container, as you can tell.
Okay, so this is when I want to make it at home. That's how we start.
Yes.
With water and then tea. Can we use any kind of tea?
So we prefer using just straight green teas or black teas, and we like organic. I would recommend for all beginners to go with a black tea. It's got really rich in nitrogen, and that's what the yeast and bacteria are going to eat to help make a really healthy kombucha.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll put the water just to 82 degrees is fine.
Okay.
So add the water, at least 1 liter. So you'll need a jar. We like a glass jar.
These are easy to have at home.
Yeah, these are perfect for home brewing. A nice, good little jar, liter up to 8 liters. Depends on what the size of your family is, right?
Yeah.
You'll need a nice fabric to put on the top. So this fabric helps it to breathe the oxygen.
Okay.
Because they're living bacteria and yeast here, so they need that oxygen.
Right.
But we don't want bugs to get in, dust to get in.
Right.
You can use a tie or a rubber band. So once your water is heated, we'll throw in a little bit of tea.
5 grams for a liter, no?
Yeah. So this case, we're using black Ceylon tea. So we want to let it infuse 3 to 6 minutes. You can go even to 12 if you want. I know some people who do it in cold even, and they'll leave it for 24 hours so that it leaks out all of the minerals and nutrients from the tea is what you want to.
So while it's infusing for 6 minutes, we're going to add the sugar.
Correct, about 65 grams. We'll add the sugar, and then it'll be a lot easier to dilute with. So once you have your sugar diluted really nicely in your tea, then you're gonna let it get cold, about 30 degrees.
Okay. We have another batch pre-made. So this is the cool down tea with the sugar infused in it.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So now we'll just pour this into our container. We add our mother, which is the Scoby disc, and a little bit of starter fluid. Usually I like to use about 1/4.
So 1/4 of the liquid?
Yes.
For the starter?
In the starter liquid. So if you want to select one of these, we have a bunch of little Scoby mamas here.
How does Scoby even form?
So Scoby has to be passed on from generation to generation, friends to friends. And it's always advisable to go with someone who can trust.
So if I want to make it at home, I come and ask you for the Scoby?
Yeah, it's probably better. It's probably better just to go with a brewery or a certified.
What is the full form of Scoby?
The symbiotic colony of yeast and bacteria, or bacteria and yeast.
Right.
This is actually only a couple of days old, but the one on the bottom is the one that will interest us because it's plenty. Well, you can take them both. That's fine. Yeah. Wow. And then you'll put that in, and then you'll need the liquid, the starter liquid, to help you get.
And pour the whole liquid in?
Yeah. You can just pour it all in.
Yeah. So this is just kombucha, no?
Yeah, this is
the
just
starter
kombucha.
is the kombucha.
Yeah. Correct. And now you have to leave this with not a lot of frying happening because it doesn't like the oils in the air.
Okay.
It needs to be in a nice, dark, calm place where it can just sit for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks
Okay.
minimum. You're gonna leave it shut and you're gonna watch that it's gonna get a film on the top.
Okay.
And that film is the daughter of the Scoby.
Okay.
So that daughter is far more aggressive than the mother. The mother's kind of more sleepy and just kind of hangs out there. Sometimes it floats to the bottom, sometimes it stays to the top, but it definitely still has all of the bacteria and yeast there that are needed to make the transformation. So the transformation, it's like a little factory. So it's taking all of the sugar and the nutrients, so it's gonna use oxygen, it's gonna use a little bit of the nitrogen from the teas, even the caffeine helps give them energy from the tea. So it's consuming some of that caffeine, so your caffeine is to 1/3 of what it would normally be.
Okay.
So it's actually using all of those nutrients and it's making some organic acids. These organic acids are what help us detoxify our body. We naturally produce some of them, but it also is very helpful to have even extra, you know?
Of course. So a dark place for 2 weeks.
Yes, an environment that's somewhat cold, it's gonna take a little longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What should the pH be when you...
So your NPH should be above 2.5 and below 3.5.
So this kombucha, once rested for 2 weeks in the dark, becomes this.
Correct.
Plain, neutral, no flavors. But you said the fun part is to
play with your creativity and also what you have available, what is in season. The kombucha already is functional. It helps you detoxify your body. It helps you basically make your blood sugar levels even. So you're not having spikes and drops in your blood sugar. You can also add all kinds of things like mushrooms. If you want to add energy, you can add something like guarana. It'll give you an extra boost of energy.
In the ones that you have, my favorite flavors are the cranberry apple.
Oh yeah.
So subtle but so yummy. I love it. So what flavors are gonna
So yeah, I brought for you. You can choose and make whatever you want. So I've got the citrus. This is hand of Buddha citrus. If you'll just smell it. It's very floral.
That's
it's
amazing.
The most ancient citrus on the planet. It doesn't have any juices inside, but it's got so much aroma from the peels. We also have some ginger here, which is a very favorable for any kind of fermentation.
My stomach needs some ginger right now.
There you go.
Detox.
So this is a good combination to start out with. We also have pitaya, which is
dragon fruit.
Yes. The beautiful thing also about kombucha is it will absorb nutrients from all of what you put in there, and it absorbs the colors.
Oh, nice.
So it will just extract all of the color if you put this berry in there. And in a couple of days, this berry will be white.
Wow.
And all of the color will be inside. So I got these little berries because they're in season.
Okay.
Have a try. You have to try it. It's so, so delicious. So packed full of flavor. Yeah, right?
Yum, burst of flavor.
So then you can also use things like
Turmeric,
which we know is anti-inflammatory, helps with
You
pain.
have a ginger turmeric one here, no?
I had, yeah. We also have lemongrass. Most fruits, I would highly recommend use the puree and the juice so that it absorbs all of the nutrients. So you choose which combos you want to do.
I always like citrus with berry.
Okay, citrus and berry, fun. Okay, that sounds good.
Maybe with a tiny bit of ginger, can we?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay.
So the golden rule for kombucha, you want to have at least 80% kombucha base. So this is our base. And then the rest 20% can be fruit or other herbs or whatever it is that you'd like to add in.
In terms of weight, right?
Yeah, and that will we'll leave it to ferment during another week, 3 days to a week.
Okay.
And it will create the nice bubbles that we know as it's like a soft drink, more like. So the puree, I would just recommend even just one finger, crack it off.
Okay.
And then you'll want to get a little bit of the
skin
off of this. So you'll put a little bit in each, I guess, half and half. Yeah. That's probably good. We can just take the berries as they are and pop them in, or we can make a puree.
Berry and one puree.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. So go ahead and.
How many shall I put?
I would go with, I'd go with a good 12 or so berries. Yeah, this is the juice. And
So the juice goes into this one.
And now we'll add the puree, which is very, very small amount. So another tip would be to have bottles. The bottles that you're gonna do our second ferment in should have a spring top.
Ah, okay.
Highly recommended to keep the gases in so that you're able to create a nice good.
So I'm going to add some ginger into this as well. 2 tiny pieces.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, that looks so pretty.
I know.
Love it.
So how long does this have to go through for the second fermentation?
I think when you use ginger, you use some fresh strawberries, so will ferment fairly rapidly. So
Okay.
I would say 3 days. After the 3 days, just give it a nice pop, and if you notice it does a little sizzle, and then you see some bubbles coming up, then you know it's ready. What you have here is a whole ecosystem going on. So you have all of these bacteria and yeast that are getting super excited about the new foods that they've been given. So they're gonna start reproducing like crazy and eating like crazy.
Okay, eating the sugars.
And their byproduct is
Okay.
gases.
Right.
So these gases are going to be starting to accumulate, and then you see there's very little space, so they'll infuse into the liquids. So put it in cold before you open it.
Okay.
That's the recommendation.
Okay.
In the cloth.
So that's very important, guys. 3 days after its second fermentation, when you're opening it, make sure you put it first in the fridge so there's not going to be as many bubbles, and then put a cloth over it, a heavy cloth, and then open it slowly over the sink.
Over the sink is
Over the
best. The other thing that's interesting is when it's in cold, below 4 degrees, is when the yeast are dormant. They go to sleep. So they're no longer really active and just wanting to eat. There's no more party.
Okay, so essentially we're done with making
this.
our kombucha.
So another fun tip, if you want to, once you've had this puree, it's going to create a little Scoby with all of the fruits. So what we decided to do here, because we're a little fun and creative, we made a puree of that, and we made a fruit leather. So we dehydrated it, but over a really low temperature. You want the low temperature so that it continues to be active, somewhat active, you know. But I want you to try some of our fruit leathers. You're okay with spicy things?
I'm okay with spicy.
Okay, good. Try a tiny bit because this is a very, very intense ginger. I love it. So good for your tummy.
That's like ginger candy.
Yes.
Wow, that's strong.
Right? Isn't it amazing? I love it.
That's yummy.
Yeah, it's a great way to use what you've already used here. You've gotten all the nutrients from here, and then now you're using the fibers.
So these are going in for the second fermentation from 3 to 7 days, depending on the gas. Depending on the temperature outside and everything. Perfect. Okay. So while they're doing its thing, we can probably go try some of your yummy flavors.
Okay, yes, let's. The base of everything is the green tea base.
Ooh,
That's yummy.
that is yummy.
You can tell that it's green tea. That
You
it has-
can.
Yeah, it has that nice subtle green tea behind it. It's a base.
For green tea lovers, you will love the classic.
So this has kumquat. It has hand of Buddha, the same one that you used earlier. I used a verbena, which is also called Maria Luisa. I used, because that's a very good combination with citrus. I've used some star anise. You'll find that at the end. And I used aloe vera. So aloe vera is more functional, so it helps us, it's a natural laxant. So chin chin.
Chin. It's so refreshing and light, but it also has a lot of depth because of the star anise, I think. Yeah. My tummy's already happy with me. After all the food I've been eating, this is a good change.
This one is a very popular one. This is our passion fruit with mango and blue spirulina. And this has got nice head, like a beer, because the blue spirulina has a lot of protein in it. So the proteins create a matrix with the sugars and create a nice little foam top. And obviously the color of blue from the algae.
My favorite color. Ooh. I think I like this one the best.
Yeah?
It is incredible.
This is the one they always ask for.
I can see why.
Yeah.
I think this is crossing my cranberry apple flavor.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to be one of them. Saying
Okay.
if we run out, please get it back soon.
Impatiently.
Yes, I'll ask patiently and nicely. It's good, no?
Yeah, really good.
This one's yum.
Okay, so this one has fresh raspberries. It's got a special infusion of vanilla, cardamom, black tea, and to finish it off, I added some reishi mushroom. It gives you like that fullness in your mouth. Interesting.
It's very, very refreshing because of the raspberry.
Yeah.
I got it the second I
Yeah.
tasted it. So this is a quick recap on how to make the kombucha at home. Heat the filtered water up to 82 degrees Celsius and infuse black tea for at least 6 minutes. Add the sugar while it's warm and leave to cool until it gets to 30 degrees Celsius. Add the Scoby and the starter to the container. Cover with a cloth and rubber band and leave in a dark place undisturbed for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, remove 1/4 of the starter and Scoby and use it for the next batch. In the remaining liquid, add your choice of flavorings, fruits, teas, juices, purees in a spring top bottle and leave for second fermentation for 3 to 7 days. Before opening the bottle, keep it in the fridge until it gets cold and open carefully over the sink. Pour in a glass and enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to take home some kombucha until I can make it. And when I do plan on making it, I'm going to come and ask you for a Scoby.
Absolutely. You're
Thank
always
you.
welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for spending the day with us and teaching us how to make kombucha. I hope some of you do make it, and when you do, please tag us Infinity Platter on Instagram and Casa de la Kombucha. And thank you for joining us. Have a lovely day and see you next week.
Bye. Thank you.